yeah, we are in the taste of
Hi-ho, Chibi Mythos here, and welcome to the Little Old People Podcast. I'm here with my co-old person, Mark.
AKA the little black dude.
And if this is your first time listening, we're two oldish nerds looking at random fandoms from varying directions. I'm a historian and archaeologist by degree, and now a former wage slave by trade. Mark is a jeweler, YouTuber, and fellow fan enthusiast. Thankfully, the holidays are over for another year. And yes, as I record this, it is indeed 2020.
2020
Honestly,
as well.
Yes, exactly. It's very, yay to the future. Still don't have my bubble car.
We were
Jess
promised
is lying to
hoverboards,
me.
damn it.
And, honestly, one thing I thought a lot about this year as I struggled to buy presents is who's easier to buy for, nerds or normies? Now, for me, it's nerds. They have their fandoms, and therefore it offers a focused approach to gift buying. If there is really nothing out there in the great wide world that might tempt them, because I knit and sew and do beadwork and make chainmail and have a passing familiarity with photo editing, I will turn to arts and crafts to provide them with a one-of-a-kind, never before seen and never will be again type gift. For everyone else, there are gift cards. Hashtag not sponsored. If I don't know what your interests, passions, or pursuits are, how can I shop for you? With kids, the toy could be too old for them and, have too many small parts, or it could be too young for them and they've grown past it, or it could be something that they're not interested in at all because, even a kid as young as 2 has their own focused interests. For adults, I'd buy you a drink, but everybody has different tastes, and some people don't drink, and some people only want the top shelf stuff, and some people only want MGD 2020, So it's really hard. And I refuse to buy people things for their houses unless it's something that they've asked for, because you could be messing up their decor or their, color, schemes, and that's just rude. So give me nerds any day. I still think they're easier to shop for.
As for me, I think the normal folk are easier to buy gifts for. In my experience, finding presents for other geeks can be a needle in a haystack situation. When a non-geek says they want something, I've found it to be easier to locate and secure for gift-giving purposes, i.e. perfume, articles of clothing, jewelry, a favorite food or treat, etc., that kind of thing. With our nerdy brethren, finding something that fits their fandom or fandoms has been tougher for me. And I know how far my crest will fall if I get the wrong something, or if it's something that they already have, or it's a duplicate of something. I agree on gift cards though. They're like cash but more specific. In that way, it can appear that you know a normal person better than you might. Wait a minute, hey, they shop at this place. Gift card. Doing so for kids can be difficult, but the upside is you can ask a child directly what they want, and they'll still be surprised and excited about getting exactly what they asked for. Now, that's been my experience. Like, for example, with my boys. My older son asked for Splatoon 2. We got him Splatoon 2. He was happy as hell. My younger boy, he wanted plush Sonic the Hedgehogs. Sonic the Hedgehog, Tails, and Knuckles. When he got those, he was excited. You can do that with children. It works. But I'm sure it just depends on the day. But I feel shopping for normies is easier.
Okay, fair enough. And this is you speaking, of course, as, a owner of children. I am not, I am without. So I can't, argue with you on that point. So I will
bid $5 on the child.
Yeah.
We've got a bill of sale
right
here, like in Pete's Dragon.
All right. Well, that was an easy one to answer then. And I feel like we haven't, filled up the time. So let's do another one. All right. So before we move on, though, I do have one question. How did you make out this past holiday season? I personally got a new game system. I won't say which one, but I have been brand loyal for 4 generations. I will always wait until, the end of a system's run and when the next generation to be announced before I go out and buy the whatever's, currently out there. And why do I do this when it seems so counterintuitive? Because for me, at the end of that generation's run, all of the bugs and kinks have been ironed out and it's as good as it's going to get. Plus, there's a backlog of games that now are low cost or clearance for me to play. And because I am not the fastest gamer in the world, I've got plenty of time to do it now because I know there's no more coming.
And that is a wonderful feeling to know you ain't got to rush.
Yes, exactly.
Christmas is my least favorite holiday, though. I don't really get excited about it anymore.
Me neither. And that was before I started working in retail, so I totally get that.
Yes, I understand. You and I have both done that same thing. You have my sympathy.
Yeah, I get PTSD sometimes thinking about it, but yeah, moving on.
I mean, I don't ever ask for or expect gifts from anybody. So I will buy, a gift or two for myself after the holidays are over and the hype train's departed the station,
Yeah.
I'm content spending time with my boys, which I've done for the last few Christmases, and I was satisfied. I haven't had a lot of good Christmases over the last, 17 years or so. Long story. But the ones that I've spent with my sons were the ones that I was most excited about.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I can understand that completely. And it seems fair. After a certain age, Christmas is basically all year round since if you're working, you can pretty much buy whatever you want, whenever you want, and know to look for sales and bargains and how to shop around and get things at a lower cost.
Basically, shut up and take my money.
Exactly.
So, what is it that you'd consider an ideal fan gift?
Well, for me, t-shirts. You cannot lose with a t-shirt. If it's too big, pajama shirt. I get to sleep in my fandom. If it's too small, I know how to sew, so I can make it a messenger bag. Or, you can put it on, a giant teddy bear, and now they have your shirt, which you can then carry around at cons, and people think is adorable. Or, I can cut the design off of it and make it a quilt, or, a fun wall hanging. Or I can leave it as it is and frame it and hang it on the wall, and people can talk about it. You cannot lose with a t-shirt.
The ideal gift for me, pretty much anything from DC Comics, because it's a safe bet. Since Marvel rules the roost, it takes some more time and more effort to find something DC. More so if it isn't Batman or the Joker or Harley Quinn.
True.
So for me,
although
it
I will
shows
admit,
that
Harley stuff is hard to find.
And I am absolutely fine with that. I really wish all the rest was. That's just my opinion, though. But it does show some effort when somebody decides, oh, I want to give you a gift, and they bring me something that's Flash or Green Lantern, or they go completely esoteric and like start throwing the Phantom Stranger and the Question and stuff like that. I'm like, that is wonderful. I love stuff like that because it works in my mind. Comics, animated movies, figures, Lego sets, which I want so many of. Plushes, all of them are fair game to me. Now, for other people, I can definitely go along with t-shirts because, it's a simple thing. But yeah. I think posters, wall hangings and other decorations are pretty good too. Because it does help, if you know their big thing or things, and it does pack a little more punch if you have something that's custom for them. Like a friend of mine's a digital artist. I had her make a wall hanging for my son because he loves Super Mario Brothers, but he likes Luigi a lot more than Mario.
Nice.
So I had her make me, what is it? Is it 11 by 14 drawing of Luigi holding an invincible star.
Nice. That's
I don't
awesome.
care what you say. That mess is great. But having something custom made for that special during your life is the best thing to do. Go ahead.
We brought it all back around to the crafts thing again. It all comes down to crafting. Yes. Learn to knit. You will never be naked. You cannot be voted off the zombie island. It's all win.
That's hilarious. And now it's time for something completely different.
All right. Let's talk swag. Most of it is utter trash, but we cherish it anyway. Why and what is it?
Okay, I think I'll field this one here. Swag is a catch-all term for memorabilia that's often given away at an event. No, it is not whatever these frickin', rappers from a few years ago were talking about. Let's forget all that mess. Has
No,
nothing to do with this conversation.
no.
Now, swag could be from any kind of event, but we often associate swag with conventions and meet and greets and things like that.
Okay.
The upside to swag is it's often something that's only available at that event. The downside, since there's two sides to every Schwartz, is in many cases it's mass produced and of poor quality. But yeah, as fans, we love this stuff. Some common types of swag, of course, are keychains and buttons and shirts and wristbands and stickers.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I have so many buttons.
There's always some kind of connection to the event when you have something like that. Whether you went to a wrestling match or to an anime convention, to a comic show or a book signing or something else entirely.
Mm-hmm.
One of the ones that I like the most, though, is if you go to a convention, no matter what kind it is, but if it's being held in a hotel where people are staying, sometimes they'll have custom room key cards, for the people that are attending the convention. For example, when I went to DerpyCon 2019, I'm getting all geared up to go to my room. I'm checking in and everything. And like, well, here's some of the things that we have. They had a special menu for people that were there for the convention. They had a special room key, which is on my little wall of magic over here, along with all of my badges, which is another thing that I personally consider swag. There are some people they don't think so, but when you go to multiple conventions and you see a new design every year, or there's a new focus every year, that to me does make a difference. But
sure,
again, it goes down to how people think of specific things. But I do like that kind of. Now, to me, it shows that the con presenters are not only happy that you're there, but if you're staying in the hotel, they're showing that they have appreciation of the business that they're doing because of the convention coming. But the long and short of it is, if you have it, if you have that piece of swag, that thing that was specifically for that event, you were a part of that shared cultural experience, and you have a keepsake to prove it. It's my opinion that fan collections equate to organized hoarding with a story attached.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything that I have, every item in my collection kind of has a little tale to it, ranging from something as simple as I went to the store and saw this thing I didn't know existed in my fandom that I like, so I bought it, to this was a present from a friend who felt bad for me not being able to attend an event they went to, so they sent this kind of thing, to my personal favorite. This came from a student of mine out of appreciation for the time I spent teaching them. I don't care what anybody says, it's a wonderful thing to get something along those lines. Yeah. And sure, it can appear like it's junk or like it's clutter, but every item in a collection has a tale to tell, not only about how a person got it, but it tells you a little bit about the person who has it. Because what you have because you value it. Even if it's something that you didn't like the object, but you like how you got it, who you got it from, or it reminds you of a story that is something that you can run with. It's a beautiful thing to feel. And when it comes to swag, no matter what the quality is, because it can vary wildly from place, we eat that mess up because we love that our fandom loves us even a little bit.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I mean, I've got stories attached to, so many things. I mean, when I started going to Sherlock conventions, I didn't know about badge flags, these little things that people would make and just hand out to people. And then it was like, oh, who gets the most badge flags? And then, what do they say? I've got 2 years worth of them. The string's as long as my arm, and my arm's about 3 feet long. It's fantastic, and I love it. And I can look back on that and go, oh, yeah, I got this in that room, and this person gave me that. So, yeah, no, I totally understand that. And it's fun. I mean, they're completely useless. The stickies, not that great, but I love them, and I'm not getting rid of them.
Yeah, the past year, I have all of my badges from the conventions that I've gone to in the past year, because to me, that is the most significant thing. It shows that you were a part of something, first of all, like I was saying earlier. And second, each badge, depending on where you go, depending on what kind of a convention it is, can give you kind of an idea of what you're looking forward to. Like J1Con, which I absolutely love. The guy that runs it, his name is Jason Richardson. Absolutely wonderful guy. He is the biggest frickin' black nerd I've ever met. He is so friggin' cool. He's been running J1Con for many years. I believe it's close to 10 years he's been doing it now.
Wow.
And every one of the badges that are from the conventions are from characters that he's designed for, stories that he's written, comics that he's drawn, things of that nature. This past one, he had premiered a collectible card game called VT Heroes. If you check out the J1Con site as well as their J1 Studios Instagram, they have so much that's promotional for the game itself. And as if that's not awesome enough, someone who was a part of the development team for that decided that they needed to make costumes for this game.
Wow.
So of the, I think 8 or 9 characters that are featured in this game, they had 3 people that were in full, in the full costumes during the entire convention. They had 2 others that were, showing up during the course of one of the days, but during one of the speeches he made, he said that he was almost in tears watching something that he created walking around his convention.
Yeah. Oh, I can 100% believe it. That's awesome. That is really freaking awesome.
So yeah, it makes a difference, and it reminds you of stuff when you have something that you can bring back from a convention.
Yes. Hey, I can't eat Pocky anymore without thinking about the Great Pocky Riot. I wasn't there, but I heard all the stories.
Yeah, that one is passed around like a legend. I wish I had been there. I remember when I first heard about this. It was at Otakon 2003, my first convention, when I found out about the Great Pocket Rebellion. I was like, what the hell did I just walk in on? Still trying to get over the fact that was almost 18 years ago.
Stop it. No. I'm rejecting your reality and substituting my own. The 80s
you go
was
right ahead and do it.
No, 80s was only 20 years ago, and the 90s was only 10. No.
As much as you want to do. We start the episode saying we're 2 oldish nerds. You cannot change that.
I didn't say I can change
it.
I can choose what I choose to believe, however.
So if you, our wonderful listeners, want to weigh in on this argument that we're having, there's a couple of places you can find us. You can catch us on Facebook at facebook.com/littleoppodcast. You can also, send us a tweet at Twitter on littleoppodcast. And you can send us an email at littleoldpeoplepodcast@gmail.com.
Yes, we accept constructive criticism. All right, I've been Cheapy Mythos. He's been the little black dude, and we'll see you on our next episode.
Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.